Episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, Authentic Muay Thai Lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of Nak Muay. Go check it out. All right, so we're here today with Clinton Tudor. He's coming to us from Phuket, Thailand. Obviously, you'll be able to tell that he is not from Phuket, Thailand, based upon his accent. He is a Kiwi. And Clinton, how you doing today, man?
I'm good, Jonathan, brother. Yourself?
Yeah, doing well. So I brought you on here. You have a business called Gym Unlock. I've been seeing your face pop up more and more. Tell us about your business.
Nice. Thank you, Jonathan, for having us on. I appreciate it. Gym Unlock's purpose is to help gym owners, especially micro gym owners, Muay Thai guys, striking guys, boxing studios, to help identify who it is that they're called to serve and give them the tools that they need so that they can level up and actually compete and thrive against these big franchise businesses. Your 9 rounds, your freaking, Rumbles of the world. And, when I was sort of coming up on it and I was seeing these big guys do really well, I sort of felt that I got massive benefit from getting into martial arts, even, at 40s, in my 40s, getting into martial arts. I'd never done it before. And I was just sort of thinking as I was going through it, these smaller gyms, I was really lucky to have a really good coach, Richie Hardcore from Liga City. Shout out to Richie. Have a really amazing coach. And I just sort of thought to myself, man, if I didn't get this experience in Muay Thai, this amazing coaching, this incredible team, it would be a real travesty, and a tragedy would be that I wouldn't have had that benefit of Muay Thai and got it in such a fantastic way, this first experience. It made me think, there's so many of these other businesses around that are really good at, and they have huge amounts of capital and budget to throw into messaging and, make sure that they get people hooked. If that was the case, then I wouldn't have got that benefit, right? I wouldn't have had that benefit. And I sort of thought, when I looked around in the landscape, I thought, these guys are so amazing at coaching. What they do in terms of the value delivering to people is absolutely incredible and non-replaceable. But what they lack is the ability to talk about the benefits that they bring, systems in their business to help attract new people like me when I was looking around into their business. If it wasn't for a personal recommendation, I probably would never have walked into that gym. And that's a shame. And so I'm planting a flag and, saying, I'm out here to help the smaller guys to just have really good frameworks, really good systems that they can install into their business and be able to repeat with or without them. So I think that's the most important thing is, getting really good at stating the value that you bring and, operating a profitable business.
Awesome, man. And we were talking a little bit about this. It could definitely relate as a small business and seeing you pop up. And I've seen some of the work you've been doing with some gyms as well that have popped up just on our Instagram feed, even here in the USA too. So that's awesome that you saw that opportunity to be able to take that. With that too, just to think about it, going into our next section here, like if there was one secret that you had for your business or like a message you had for people like that gym owner that's listening right now, because I know you're listening, there's a lot of you out there. What's one thing that they could do to help them tackle their most vital priority each day for their business in like what you do? Is it calling up gym unlocks?
Look, I think it's defining who it is that they want to help, right? I think we have this shotgun approach a lot of the times, which is not helpful. You need to really go after the people that you want more of in your gym. And if you look around in your gym and you sort of think, what, beyond demographics. I'm talking more about intrinsically who these people are and who you want to help. Like if you're all about helping fighters, okay, then that'd be the thing that you really go for. But if you are more about helping people just get fitter and better every day, just decide who that is and start speaking their language. I'm being a little bit selfish here and talking more about terms of I guess branding and marketing and positioning. But if you get really good at defining who it is that you want more of in your business and start speaking to the language that they use and start entering the conversations that they're having, you'll have a lot more success with your marketing efforts, with your communication efforts. And at the end of the day, the biggest problem that I see for a lot of the small gyms that we consult with, and not now, of course, but they're working with us, but a lot of the challenges that they have is the ability to communicate to those people. And you really want to have them attracted towards you, right? So you need to use the language and you need to talk about the challenges that they're having. So get really, really good and get really, really defined on that. That would be my main piece of advice for those guys.
Definitely a solid advice too is talking to your audience, right? You got to know who you're talking to, who are the people that you're going to help.
Yeah, and I mean it comes down to the communication and getting really, really, really sure of it. There are certain traits that these people are going through, and it's like getting them to self-identify with what that is. Like, for example, if I wrote, you're a Muay Thai addict when, and I put that into a group, a Facebook group, and then you're going to have so many people wanting to reply to that and say, when you got your second bottle of Namai oil, or you walk around and you close the cupboard door like this, or all of these things. But the point is that you're not answering the question for them. Instead, you're just giving them the platform to answer the question and to identify with that. Say, yeah, I am, or I hate these things, or I love these things, or the reason I am this thing. And I think that's the key. And you might not really understand that fully at first, but once you start doing it, like, you will get reinforced that more and more, and it'll get easier and easier to tell their stories. And I think it's like one thing when we say it, it's one thing when we say it as business owners and entrepreneurs, and but it's another thing when they say it in their own language.
Definitely.
I think that's the key. So sometimes just taking that little bit of time to allow that to happen, and it will happen naturally. And when it does, just be observant and start really like plugging into that.
Yeah. Is there anything that like you do that helped you refine that skill? Because that's obviously a skill too, right? That comes into marketing and stuff like that. Did you have a background in this before? Or?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like before my Muay Thai years, which is my 40s. So any 40-year-olds out there looking for this, I mean, I hope I can inspire more people to get into the sport. I do think it's really accessible. It is an accessible sport, and if you have a really good coach and you have a really good gym and a really good environment, you will be able to thrive in that, right? You will be able to get success and trust in the process, and you will get places. I mean, I look at videos now. My first year or second year at Muay Thai. Like, oh. And if you're not cringing, then you're obviously, not progressing truthfully, because I cringe at that stuff, and that's fine. But I'm like, little Clinton in her early 40s, getting started with Muay Thai and not even knowing how to throw a kick or a punch. Like, that's amazing. And now I get to, enjoy, and I can spar with people, and it's a lot of fun for me. I actually really, really enjoy that. So your question is, yes, what kind of background have you had? Well, yeah, I've always been in branding. I've always been in marketing. I was a commercial photographer. I traveled around Southeast Asia, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Singapore, in my 20s working commercially. So, spending time with people, spending time with real people, spending time with teams, to, create images that are, commercial work. I have that in my background. And then we sort of moved into early stage social media with a company called Intellect, which I was a part founder in. And it was very, very early stage social media. So we were taking content and putting it directly on social media of customers, because I was really good at working with real people. Obviously, we work with models and talent, But when it came to working with real people and doing documentary style photography, I really enjoyed that too. And so we got really skilled at working with, making ordinary people look and feel amazing. Essentially is what it is. But then putting that into content and then directly putting it on the internet and, building databases for our clients and opt-ins and, making the customer the hero, basically. So you imagine, big basketball game, whole series, and you've got all these kids, being the hero of the game and slamming the ball into the net. And it's all green screen with a huge studio that's shot, but they are the absolute heroes. And then they get to be on billboards, and then the team gets to choose them to come for a VIP experience the next home game, things like that.
Yeah.
So we've always been in that kind of game and in that kind of space. And so now those are Intellect days. And obviously COVID hit, and these things relied on real world experiences.
Oh yeah.
Brand experiences are real world. You actually need people to be doing stuff to give them that experience. And so obviously that changed the game very quickly, and we very quickly needed to pivot. But I don't want to go deep into that. Yeah. But I got serious about the Muay Thai. I'd already been training a couple of years before COVID hit. And then New Zealand was, it was very challenging during that time, but a big blessing as well was that the government, if you were earning a certain amount of money, they gave you a lot more support. The more money you were earning, the more people you had on the payroll, the more support you got. And so that gave us a chance to kind of, just pause and reframe about what was important to us. And as much as I enjoyed that work with Intellect and being a third founder, I realized that, even if I was taking a massive paycheck and a pay cut and a massive reset, then I thought it was like worth it for me to venture down into this space and actually to really start helping the guys that I wanted to help in terms of the small business, the gyms. And I was just trying to think about how to serve them at a wider, at more scale, and how to do that and where to get started. Right. And so I was just lucky to have a couple of guys that were just like, yeah, man, we definitely want you to help. And so, it all kind of happened. It's all serendipity. I'm sure a lot of things changed for a lot of people during that time. It's just,
absolutely,
everyone was questioning their life choices. And a lot of things were happening at that time. It was just really challenging. I just think, but for me, it was a blessing at the same time, is that I got a chance to kind of go, what is it that I really want to do? What really sets me on fire? What gives me a real purpose? And it was this, and Intellect was a purpose business too. We didn't work with just anybody. We wouldn't work with betting. We wouldn't work with alcohol companies. We wouldn't work with tobacco companies or anything that was kind of like harmful. So we had that line. But doing a big campaign for an energy drink versus helping a small business owner to get more people into their gym so they can get the benefit of Muay Thai and transformation like I did. Well, there's actually no comparison between the two.
No, definitely not. One seems like purely financial. The other one, like you said, is like serving a purpose.
Yeah, I mean, Intellect as a company was, it was a purpose business. It was definitely, but I just really enjoy where I'm at now. And as say, COVID for a lot of people in the pandemic was a very big challenge, but for me, it was a bit of a blessing.
Yeah, and that kind of really shows like, hey, you persisted through that really challenging time, and you seem like you flourished towards something that you're a little bit more fulfilled in. Would that be accurate to say?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. That's a really nice way to put it. Very eloquent.
Yeah, of course, Clinton. So I know you were in Phuket, Thailand, obviously. So you weren't in Phuket when all that was going on, and you ended up over in Phuket. How long you been in Phuket now for?
Yeah, man, living the dream. Honestly, yeah, location independent business. Fast forward 4 years from the pandemic, and living a location independent business with awesome clients. In Australia and in Canada and the UK and the States and New Zealand, of course, where I'm from, and managing this from over here in Phuket and getting to train as often as I want, get to train with amazing people. Going to incredible fight shows. When I got to Bangkok, like all the shows are right there. Got to see Buakao's last fight at Rajadhanam. Got to see Pawanchai versus Superborn at Lumpini Stadium. It's just, honestly, I couldn't ask for more. And so, I just sort of think that's the main thing, just following your heart. Obviously, it's a big change for us. living in New Zealand. When the pandemic hit, we were already making plans and decisions to my daughter was already overseas at that stage and about ready to start college. So I kind of had done that thing. I was almost like, I was like an empty nester by early 40s. So empty nester by early. Yeah, I was ready, bro. So, and then the pandemic put a bit of a pause on that. And now we got over here. We finally got over here. And honestly, I haven't looked back. I really haven't looked back. It's been great.
No, it looks fantastic where you're at too. I've been enjoying some of your videos. If it's a May gray or June gloom in California, I was like looking at your stuff. I'm like, that looks nice. Going into that too, it seems like, you've really come through a lot. Like you said, you found like a great coach and stuff like that too. I think you said Richie Hardcore, what his name was?
Yeah, Richie Hardcore. Yeah, from Team Hardcore Thai Boxing, who's like part of the Liga Legacy, who's like Lolo Hanmoli, who's the Sifu, and off the Sifu, Israel Adesanya's coach, Eugene Bierman. They all come from that same lineage.
Your Muay Thai instructor, Richie Hardcore, right? And you also probably had a business mentor. So was there a mixture of both of them that kind of directed you towards Gym Unlock? Or did you have your own idea about what you wanted to do based upon your Muay Thai experience or based upon just your business experience?
Yeah, I think like as entrepreneurs, we always look at the world and just sort of think about what problem can we solve. At the end of the day, like if you get steadfast on a problem that is glaringly obvious that needs to be solved, then I think you put all your energy and effort into solving that problem. And the problem that I could see that needed solving is just providing structure and frameworks, especially around the acquisition and attention part of the business for these guys. So that's the area that we play in really, really well, is the attention and acquisition. And, we very quickly worked with a few people who just gave us the keys. They just said, look, we don't really know what we're doing. Can you just please help us and just do the best you can? And having those early gym owners, shout out to Tommy Gunn from Evolution Muay Thai in Papamoa in New Zealand, who previously was at Powerhouse in Phuket. Shout out to him, and shout out to Nigel from NJE, Ace Boxers. These guys just gave me the keys. They said, look, just do what you want, So it was just, it was a real blessing that I could just go, okay, well, where I want to start is, defining your audience. Where I want to start is like helping you to show up. Where I want to start is, giving you frameworks, giving you, calendars, giving you materials, doing this stuff for you. But as I'm doing it, I want to try and coach you and give you more capability. I want you to start showing up for yourself, right? And building your own personal brand. I'm going to take care of your business, but I want you to build your personal brand too. Some of these guys are incredibly charismatic.
Oh yeah. They're some of the like coaches, especially like some of the ones you named. If there was a magic reset button you could use for your business and you're like something that you're implementing now, what would you implement if you were going to go back to day one of Gym Unlock?
Oh, that's a great question. I think I would go, like I said, I was really lucky to have these guys just hand over the control of what they wanted to do, which was wonderful. But I think the biggest thing, and it gave me a lot of experience and a lot of confidence early on, but I think the biggest thing would be go out and talk to the marketplace first, rather than just, get clients and start working straight away. I would have gone out to the marketplace first and understand a little bit more about their needs and what they're struggling with. I think that's the first place that you want to start, and then develop a huge list of those people, right? And go and spend time with them and hang out in their businesses and see the realities as it is for them. Because even if we have incredible frameworks that can fit, I can pull it out of Ontario and I can put it into downtown Auckland, or I can pull it out of downtown Auckland, put it into downtown Sydney, or, they're interchangeable to a degree. the realities of how it works and the intricacies of people's markets and who they're serving, that's what's different. And I think it's really important to talk to as many people as you possibly can and get the feedback and try to spend time in those businesses. And I know that's unscalable, but that's how you get a better business. That's how you can start to map out a lot with a lot more clarity by identifying all the different outliers that people go through and, understand people's unique challenges, because there is universal truths, but there are unique challenges. That would be the biggest thing for me, is just making sure you're talking to more gym owners, understanding more problems, understanding the intricacies of their challenges that they're having. And that would be number one for me, is go out and spend more time in the trenches with the people asking the questions.
Awesome. And speaking of going backwards, let's fast forward 1 year from now, and you're thinking about decisions in your business every day, but there's one that you're making right now that is going to give you a lot of success, right? Something just everybody and everything that you're doing exceeded your highest expectations. What is one recipe or strategy that you implemented to make that happen?
It's really getting leverage on your time. I think that's the most important thing. That's the asset you don't get back, is the time. So definitely building out team is probably the biggest thing. And building out the team, empowering the team so you can get leverage on your time again. Because when you get started and you're even at this stage where we're at now, I'm still wearing many, many hats. I'm still spending time in this space. I think, hiring faster, getting more people into positions, I think is key. So if I was going to look back in a year's time from now at Gym Unlocks, I'd be like, okay, I'm really proud of the team that we've built here. I'm really excited that I get to spend more time on the thing that I really enjoy, which is actually coaching. And that's coaching gym owners. All the coaches, they expected to have all the answers. There's a lot of pressure put on the coach. They're wearing many hats. It's because a lot of them are coaches and gym owners. So they've got so many things going on. So they don't have a coach for themselves. I want to be their coach. And I actually really get off on spending time with these guys. As I was talking about before, you need to understand that the individual intricacies of what they're going through to be able to serve them at a highest order. So I really enjoy getting into discovery and really figuring out what's going on in their business, and then giving them the frameworks to be successful and accountability to be successful. And so I would want to spend more time being a coach, right? That's what I would love to do. So I just love spending time in there, and I really get off on the transformation that they have in their businesses. So that's what I'd like to be able to do. Fast forward a year, if I can spend more time working with more coaches one-on-one, that would be ideal. And the way that I would do that, by getting leverage on my time, the way I'd be getting leverage on my time would be building the team and making sure they're supported and have managers so that they're supported to deliver part of the projects, make sure everything is successful and running smooth.
Definitely. And now that you told me you worked for another company, you co-founded it sounded like, or you're one of the founders, it makes sense why you're able to scale some of this stuff as fast as I've seen you scale it online, because you've done stuff like this before, and it's really great for people who are out there, and I think it's a really great service. So where can people hear more about your business?
Oh, Gym Unlocks, you just hit me up on Instagram. I think, I don't know when people are going to hear this message, or which gym owners or, coaches or PTs that are going to hear this message that can get value from this. Is just hit me up on Instagram. I answer all my own DMs, so it's just at Clinton Tudor. Probably pop it up on the screen or something like this around.
Definitely will.
Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate it, brother. You're awesome. They can just reach out to me, and right now we've got an intake for the new intake for our Momentum and Accelerator programs. So I only at the moment take 5 on Momentum at any one stage, and now we're down to 4. So when this message comes out, I'm sure we'll be looking for the next intake, which is in another 90 days. But if you're having problems with your gym, or you just don't know where to start, or you're not sure about how to use social media to really attract the right kind of people to your business and give them awareness, and then give them a reason to stick around and identify themselves there, and then give them an action to take, if you're not sure how to do that, just shoot me a DM, and I'm sure I've got a bunch of free resources that I can send out to people. And, I'm always interested to hear other people's problems and see if we can help.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll definitely put that link down in the show notes for anybody that's listening to the audio version of this as well. That way they can definitely reach out to you. I'll link the Instagram, and that way they can reach out. Make sure to shoot Clinton a DM and a follow.
Thank you.
And see what he's been up to in Phuket, Thailand when this episode comes out. Clinton, thank you so much for coming on today, man. I know it's daytime there. It's early. You got to run in. I hope you have a kick-ass rest of your day.
I appreciate it, Jonathan. That was amazing, brother. I really do.
All right. That's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in today to the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. If you enjoy the content, go leave a review over on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Give us a rating. It means the world to us. Also, if you want to be a guest on the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast, or if you just want to shout out to your friend, go check us out at podcast.pu'umuaythai.com. You can submit to be able to be a guest on the podcast. You can submit what you want to talk about. Also, if you want to just give a shout out, there's a button for that too. Sawadee Kop.